Hello, good evening, and a very warm welcome to Rangers Radio.
Hello, good evening, welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Ox, here on the show this evening. It's my mucker Southside. Robert, evening, gentlemen.
Evening, Ox, evening, Southside. Good to be back on tonight.
Aye, good evening. Good to be on the night with Robert and your good self, Ox. I'll give the troops a shout out on the YouTube feed. William and Stephen, and Glenn and Alistair, they're in the chat now, so I'll give them a shout out. Say hello to them, and hopefully anybody else that's listening to it, I hope you enjoy the show.
Aye. We'll move on for Sunday at some point, you know, and obviously the aftermath of this, the events will go on for a while. But just in a purely football front, you know, for all the negatives, and there is a lot of negatives, there is some positives in what we've got assembled at the moment, Southside.
Aye. But sorry, I missed my chain of thought went there, mate. Sorry, what was the last bit you said to me? Sorry.
I just say with all the negatives, and you know, we talked about it long and hard about the lack of creativity. There is some positives, you know, that Sterling getting fitter, the boy Romans looked at a player, and we know Magoma done okay, and the two centre halves who are inexperienced seem to be getting better. You know, we had our problems with them at the start of the season, but they've got pace and they've got power, so there's potential assets there now. They've maybe not hit the consistency levels yet, but in all the negatives and all the fact that we never put the ball in the net, there is some positives, mate.
Aye, I thought Giga had a really good game for being out for so long, and obviously Shooter come back in and took his place, and we've been losing goals. And if you look at it, he come back into the team, and after the 90 minutes, and for as long as he was on the park, he was part of a team that kept a clean sheet. Obviously Sterling coming back, obviously Bolsters is on the right hand side, he's his physicality. I thought he had a really good game as well, and maybe having the spell of just one game a week at the moment might help him, see him get back into the team more regular, and the game's only coming thick and fast for him with 2 and 3 in the space of 8 days of that. It might help him stay in the team and to the end of the season and maybe stay fit. Obviously Romans has come in, he's looked decent. Magoma, we know what he can do, but Romans looks a slight upgrade on Magoma.
More physical, mate. More physical.
Physical and a bit quicker. His delivery's a bit better as well. But not to take anything away for the wee guy, he's done well while he was flung in at the deep end, and he was our only sort of left back for most of the season. A natural left back. We had other players filling in, but Chukwani probably comes in the middle of the park. I think in time we'll go on and show he'll be a good player. And I think we've got that. I think we do have to mix it up a bit. I think we need to get a couple of new players. Maybe the boy Dow that we looked at towards the end of the January transfer window might be somebody we might try and go back and get in the summer. And boy Anderson was another one that we looked at. So maybe they two might come in the summer, longer term, to bolster that midfield, make it better.
I wouldn't sign anybody for Anderson, but that's just me.
But and up front, obviously, Naderi's come in, he works hard, he shows a lot, he's there for the long haul. Chimiki obviously is there, and we've got Majowski. In between the three of them, they need to find a way. They're trying to get regular goals for us now in the next 9 games, but we've got a wee bit added firepower. We just need to get the wings fired.
Score goals.
Aye, we just need to get the two players in the wide areas starting to function a bit more and get them a bit more creative, and get them involved a lot more. We know who they are. We just need we need them to produce. And obviously Butland's been all right and lately, hasn't he?
Yep, Robert.
Aye, of course, there's positives, mate. I know it's hard to look at and try and find the positives
Doesn't
when
feel like it, but it's the reality, isn't it?
it is, mate. It is. It's obviously you go back to the last game, the last handful of games, and you pick out the negatives. Of course, that's natural, but there's a lot of positives, as you said. Especially since Danny Rose come in, there's been a lot of positives. As you say, players have started to kind of show a bit more. Mikey Moore showed what he can do compared to what it was at the start of the season. Maybe just needed better coaching, kind of less instructions, bit more freedom to play with the ball. Magoma, again, he's learning the game, he's developing, he's improved. Romans has come in, looked, I agree with Southside, a level above. Physicality, but just also the ability of him as well, the engine on him. Chukwani, addition at the middle of the park, I agree, I think he'll become a good player in time. He's showed glimpses and moments. Fitness is probably still a bit of a concern. I know you've picked up a few times, Ox, about running about the hour mark. He seems to phase out games. That will come, I think, with time. But there's a lot of positives, mate. I know it is difficult to pick them out when we're in the position we've been in the past few games, but it's not all doom and gloom, is where it could and may well have been only a few months ago.
Aye, we touched on it last night, Robert. I'd be interested to get Southside's point on it. That we looked at it, and it's actually, if we'd have kept clean sheets or no lost goals at the right time, without being ridiculous, mate. What I'm talking about is one less at Livingston, one less last week, and no losing a goal at Murrayville. We're in a different place. It's as mental as it is, Southside, with maybe critiquing and arguing against the midfield and the forwards, but we've scored enough goals to win the games.
Aye, but it was a couple of performances weren't great, but we scored goals, and there's certain games where we should have seen out. I think the Hibs game, you need to touch on it. I think the Hibs away game was the one where we didn't really turn up at all. We were poor that day. We went with expectation that day. It should have been better, but it was poor. Motherwell game, although we were under a cosh for large spells and they were playing well at that time, we were a goal up, we were a man up. I think just making the subs cost us at the wrong time. And aye, it's points trapped. And you look at the stats for the Livingston game, they had 2 or 3 shots at goal and they've scored 2 against us. We had to fight back again, 10 men, and we get a draw, which was trapped points when you're looking at it, thinking you should go to Livingston and win. And we should, but sometimes it's like they're battling and all down there. All the teams that are battling down the bottom are all fighting to try and get something, although they were doing bottom of the league or second bottom, whatever they were at the time. For us going to Livingston, we should be winning that game. If you're going for a league title, you should be making sure that you get the job done. And out of all the games that you're saying we would drop 2 points, that was a game where their goalie made 3 or 4 really, really good saves and we had plenty of chances and plenty of shots at goal. And we only took 2. So we should be more points on the board and we'd be probably above everybody if we'd managed to get it seen. And even in the league game against them, we were losing a penalty near the end. It's cost us as well. So aye, we know we've dropped 2 points. And the mad thing is we've only lost 2 games all season in that league.
Aye, domestically.
Domestically, aye.
Aye, and we've no lost a game domestically in 90 minutes, it's apart from the 2, it's mental, but you have to win games of football. Our clubs know about getting draws, Robert. It's about winning, and that's what we have to get back to, mate.
Aye, you're right, mate. It is, of course. A draw is a defeat at our club. It's been said for a number of years now that anything less than a win isn't good enough, and that's the mentality and the attitude we should be having. Of course, we're disappointed because we've not picked up maximum points at games where we have been the better team. We've performed well enough to win not just one game of football at times, but 2 or 3, particularly the Livingston game where we shouldn't be conceding 2 goals, as Southside said, but we had umpteen chances. Aye, obviously the keeper had a great game. He'll not play a game like that for a long time. Dundee United away as well, mate. Umpteen chances as well. Another 2-2 draw. So there is a lot of kind of, again, positives that we're creating chances. It's just we're not taking them enough. But in games, we are scoring enough to win games. But concentration at the back is lapsed a few times. That's let teams in. So you've got to go back onto the run where we were getting the clean sheets, we were getting the goals to win games. Just be stuffy defensively, because if you're stuffy defensively, then you've got more chance of winning the game. Obviously, I know it's kind of teaching your granny how to suck eggs, but you don't concede, you don't lose.
Aye, and then your one goal can win you the game, you know, as Bridgman says. A Bridgman, you know. Right, so never really got to discuss it with you on Monday, Southside, but, you know, Danny Rose cut some flack for some people. What's your take on it, mate?
My take on it has been what it's always been. He had to come in, look at the state of the squad. Players weren't their own confidence, they weren't producing it. We had a manager that we shouldn't have had in place. We were sitting 8th in the table at one point, and he had to come in and try and cajole some of these players. And he's managed to get us, with the help of that mob across the city and Hearts, because he managed to get us into a title fight, which he still got us in at the moment. And hoping the expectation goes up, but goes with that, you still had to have the quality of players. And I still think, I said away at the start of the season, when at the time Russell Martin came in and we didn't know how he was going to do at the time. But I said back then you'll still need 2 to 3 transfer windows to get a squad good enough and build it and get the winning mentality. And then obviously he goes. So I've said the same about Danny Rose since he came in. He needs the summer and probably the following summer to make sure that he's got the right squad of players that he's looking for and the right calibre of players. So I think he's made a couple of mistakes in his time. He's a young manager, and all managers make mistakes.
Who has they, mate? Who has
Exactly, aye. And Gerrard, when he was here, get time to build 3 years, and he even admitted in his time he made mistakes. He'd sometimes go into a press conference and say, "I put my horn up, that one's on me." So I think the Motherwell game, I thought that night, because we were under the cosh quite a bit, I think he made subs at the wrong time. I think you could maybe argue here or there in the odds team selection, or maybe since he's come in, you might have thought, well, when you played him today, maybe have kept it that way or that. But on the whole, it comes down to the players. And the players and the quality, and what we've spoke about our weeks, the last few weeks, where what Raskin's good at, but what he's no good at, what Diamondi's good at, what he's no good at. And other players, Suter, not been good enough. You seen when he came on Sunday, for what Giga's performance level was like to when Suter came on, it was like night and day. Trying to bed Fernandes in, make him a Rangers player, let him learn and be playing with the pressure. So I think the players managed, and Danny Rose managed to get us into this situation. And then when the pressure comes, I think we need that bit of quality. You still need the quality, but I think we're still lacking bits all over the team for quality. But it's not to say that we can't go in. We need to go. I heard I'm saying the players have promised them, and they've promised each other they're going to go and try and do 9 games in a bounce and win them all. So if that's what they're saying and that's what they're telling us, then we've got to hope that they can do it. They've not managed to do it all season, and keep it wins all the way. But listen, I need to go and hope that they can do it. And they're talking about trying to do it, so we need to hope that they can. But he's turned it Runox to a point, but I still think we're short of quality in certain areas.
Where?
And I think
Southside, name where?
where I think in central defence we were short. If you're going to play John Suter all the time in there, I think Fernandes is still a bit raw. So I still think, I don't know whether Cornelius might be one where we might have another look at Malone and see, because he's at that age and he might do all right. He's adaptable and he might do all right. I don't know, but he's been out for that long now. It depends. Unless they'll get eyes, I think we still need another striker. I think we need a quality striker. I still think we're short up there. Somebody that's like a penalty box striker, got instinct, gets about the park, knows where the goals are, and looking to try and hit you 20 goals a season. On the wings, I still think we struggle. I think Samara is blows hot and cold. Scove Olsen. It's interesting to hear what his old manager was saying about him today, actually. I don't know if you'll touch on that later. I was listening to him talking about him.
Go on.
He said that we should be playing him as a winger. He said we should play him as an out-and-out winger. He's playing in like a he's playing in like a number 10. Brian's coming in off the touchline, and he said watching him, He said he looks like he's a wee bit down in confidence, but he's not played a lot of football, and he probably has to keep playing to get his fitness levels up. And he talked about him quite. He gave a wee interview about it, and obviously he was talking about him today, and some stuff came out about him. And he said he is a really good player, and but we need to play him more as a winger. I know we've been playing him of late. So he talked him up the other day. But I still think in the wide areas that we're lacking. I think we need more contribution. So, listen, there's loads of sort of areas that we need to strengthen the team in. We probably need another goalkeeper going forward in time as well, or a decent number 2. So, there's loads of things out there that we need today. But we need this transfer window coming up. Probably need a midfielder also that will go out and dominate the game, can control the game, dictate it, and probably, hopefully, can score goals and on chip in for there, because out our whole midfield, we're lacking in that area. Where we don't score a lot of goals. Our midfielders out of season don't score a lot of goals.
Not just the scoring, Robert, is it? It's the creation and all. It's a bad combination, isn't it? We touched on it last night, yeah.
It is, mate. It is. You're asking Southside there for kind of positions. For me, it's middle to front, particularly midfield. Still think we need a natural goal scorer like Southside says, but the middle of the park for me is all one-dimensional. I touched on it last night, mate. Like you said, that Diamonde, Raskin, Barron, Tochi, they're all kind of players that will run hard, they'll work for the ball, they'll win back possession, but it's the lack of distribution quality they've got between them. Not get the eye for the pass for through balls. It's not they've not got a creative spark in there, and that's what's kind of lacking for me. Whether we have that and that's the missing piece, I don't know, but that's certainly an attribute that I would look at in the summer. Somebody that can be a midfielder that can get assists, break into box late on, get goals as well, add it to their game, improve the options that the manager's got as well. So that's my area, kind of a focus going forward. But it is, mate, it's a lack of creativity, not just in the middle of the park, but across the board as well. Tav's numbers are drying up, as we know. The wingers aren't really producing a lot. As good as Mikey Moore has showed glimpses and he's played well in lots of games, mate, I think he's only got 2 or 3 assists in the league this season, which for a guy as a winger that excites us as supporters, gets us off our seats, you would expect maybe higher. Antman, Skov-Olsen, Gassama, they've not done enough from the wide areas to contribute for assists as well, mate. So creativity, middle to front for me.
Aye. There has been times, so said that didn't matter. I don't think it was Mars playing at centre forward. They're not getting any supply.
No, because we've not been chance creation, and our build-up play at times has been poor, or we get so far up the park, and we, like Robert was just still, isn't he? We've no got a player that threads the ball through. I mean, many times has Raskin sent a player through this season. Many times has Raskin played one of the passes. He set up a goal or two not long ago, I remember. I can't remember what game it was, but he did an assist, and you get the odd goal, but he's not doing enough of it. Diamonde, when he's on the park, will hardly ever put you through with a chance. He's not that type of player. So they two, I think, Kukwani maybe might be the type of player in time. He's just in the door, needs time to settle in, but I think he needs to play with players that are probably like-minded like him. To me, he looks above they two in technique, and when you see him when he gets on the ball, his head's up, try to look forward. We spoke about Majowski the other night, who makes runs, but the midfielders don't see it and haven't seen it. So it's been a problem. Sometimes you're lucky you can get a midfielder that can do things like that, link to play, get in the box, score goals, go on the end of things. And if I'm honest, I thought Lyle Cameron might have been that type of player, that when we signed him, might have been like, he was like similar. I'm thinking, I know his size and all that, but the way he sort of played and got on the end of things and got in the box, Scotty Arfield used to do it. An intelligent player, could play a bit, but knew when to go in the box and could link to play and get himself in there. But he's been miles out the picture with Danny Rowe, and we've put him off to Aberdeen, and I don't think he's really got a future under Danny Rowe. I don't think he sees him as that type of player for him and his squad, but I think he might have been a wee type of player. Sometimes it's not always a player that costs him most money and all that. You need water carriers, you need players that are average, that come in and can do a job in the team and aren't the world beaters, but they can come in and do a job and do a job for you, and maybe go unrecognised by the support for a period of time. And they're not always in the first in the team sheet, but it looks like he's probably not going to get a chance since we've farmed him out, and he doesn't see him part of his plans. Not to say can he come back and maybe be that player next year, but I doubt it. So we need to get somebody like that as well, that gets in the box for midfield. We don't have enough runners for your midfield going by your strikers. We don't seem to have that
But
either.
They also playing the ball in to get that run. You know.
You made times the midfielder pick it and go and say, right, I'll play it up to Chimiti, or I'll play it up to Naderi, and then I'll go run and get it back and want to burst through. No, with the two midfielders like Raskin and Diamandi, when they're playing, don't really do that. Chuck Wannies drove forward a bit in games, I've noticed, in time. Even in the first game against them, he was picking the ball up and driving a bit with it. Mikey Moore will carry it up for you. When you give him it, it's a different type of player. When you're giving him the ball, he's willing to go and run at them. But we need players like that ilk, but you need to have
I'm going to put the twos on the spot then.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking past Rangers players here. No, just, it's generational things. You can't see how people will go on. But if you were the kind of player you're looking for, who would it be for the past to fill this void? If I know that they're a bit older, at the peak of their powers, and you can't select me because it wouldn't be fair, right? Robert, to fill this void, just to let me know the kind of style or what you're thinking about, who would you go for?
Are we going striker here for goals or midfield for creativity?
Whatever you want, whatever you think the problem is. If you're saying it's midfield, you think it's strikers, right? We'll see where it takes. It's just your choice, mate.
Well, for me, a kind of penalty box striker, I'm probably hitting the lines of somebody like Chris Boyd.
Chris Boyd, no playing in that team, mate. No mobile enough.
No, but he's a penalty box striker. If he can get the ball in, that's when
get the ball in.
That's when it goes to your creative player.
And who then? Who?
I need to think about that one first. Go to Southside first, and I'll come back to me and think about it.
No. What would you think, Southside? We'll let him have the fence up. Give him a minute. What do you think?
I got to give him a minute.
It
takes a wee bit.
Yeah, he's not the brightest, is he? You're right. Carry on.
Midfielders. We need a Paul Gascoigne.
Well, that's fair, mate. That's fair, but the point is, they don't fall out of trees, do they?
No. Durant in his day, although he wasn't physical. No, but listen, Scotty Arfield, probably if he'd had the legs 3-4 years ago, would probably be able to do a job in that midfield. You need to just we need to go and find. I mean, we start games, we don't even get a Scottish player in our team sometimes, you know what I mean? We talked the other night and we talked about wingers, and when we're talking about that, man, somebody like Ted McMahon or Mark Walters, it was reminding me when I'm looking at Gassama, and I'm thinking, when you're young, you've got plenty of pace, and is he not to go and showcase his skills? Are they told to go so far and don't lose the ball nowadays? These wingers, just give them a freedom and say, look, see me get you the ball. We give you the ball when there's only one defender to beat. Go and run at them, go and take them on. Look at the pace you've got. Just go at them. And if you don't, and he takes the ball off you, so what? Feed you again, and you go back at him again. But you see players, you watch games, you could watch games tonight, it's on in the morning and every other night. Players will get the ball, go down the line so far, and suddenly, before you know it, the ball's back at the goalkeeper.
Modern football, mate. Modern football.
It's rotten. It's rotten. A player like Nacho Novo coming on, we've not got that. A player like B Novo could come on and help you out. Big Lafferty used to do it come this time of the season when Big Walter would fling him in. And he'd start going a scoring run for some reason. He used to do that towards the end of the seasons, Big Lafferty. But we don't have that sort of type of player now that can come on and change the game for us, or go maybe get in the team and go on a run. We've got what we've got. But I think we've added 4 quality players, and I think they've been added for the long run and not just for.
I think we've added 2 players that are showing quality, one with potential and one's not kicked his backside.
I can go with that, but I still think it's quality more than what we had in the positions before they come in.
No, the one with potential and the one that's not kicked his backside, Robert, could flip. Let's be honest, up till maybe Christmas, we're all at the Jiga, yeah. But since he's come back for the AFCON, he's looked, I don't know, confident, pacier. He did look pacey at the start of the season when we first seen him, but I mean, it was his confidence is maybe Russell Martin shot his confidence. I don't know, mate. It's a complex business, isn't it?
It is, mate. It is, and sometimes it just takes a week in training or a game where you just find that confidence again as a player. Whether Scott Wilson finds that, and I hope he does, because I know we touched on him last night. He maybe one that shot of confidence. John Suter in the same bracket. Gassama been mentioned for a number of weeks, possibly in the same bracket. Sometimes it does just take something to click for the player, either in themselves, in their heads, or on the pitch to turn that around. And sometimes, as I said, that's all it takes to go from being underperforming to a higher expectation of themselves and what the supporters are expected to see as well. Whether it's getting goals, assists, general play as well. Because you want goals, you want assists, but the players we're talking about, some of their general play hasn't been great. And sometimes it is just something that just clicks inside them to put it onto the park. And once they start to show it on the park, they build up that confidence, they build up the performances. And then you go from strength to strength. It can happen in a short space of time. Giga's a prime example, mate, as you said, because as soon as he was on a team sheet, a lot of us out there, myself included, were going, oh no, we've got Giga at centre back. But you were just waiting for a mistake to happen. But he's went and turned it around. Chermiti as well at times. I know he still gets critics. He's still got a lot of people kind of juries out on him. But there was a few weeks ago, you were looking at him going, nah, he's not going to do it. I hope he does, but you couldn't see it. And then he gets performances, and then his Parkhead away, he gets the goals, and his performances start to improve. And then they dip again, and then he's back at it against Hearts. So it's up and down, up and down. You just need to find a level of consistency, which I think a lot of players at your club have struggled to find this season.
Yeah, I think you're not going to have a good game every week. You've got to accept that, but you've got to do some basics, and some of our players let themselves down with that. And then when you're playing in the forwards areas, Robert mentioned Chris Boyd. We've watched Boyd Southside. He might not be involved in the play. You think, what we played him for? Next thing you look, he scored 2 goals. But people have to supply.
Mm-hmm.
They have to supply because he could score all kind of goals, Chris.
Aye, he was a natural put up penalty box player. You look at his goals record at Rangers, and it proves that although he didn't always score against them, he didn't always get played in there, and he couldn't play as a one. Walter never usually used to play him up as a one either. He needed to have two of them up there to help him out. But Boyd is a natural finisher, and he was good at what he did. I was just looking there, a few of the boys in the YouTube feed were flinging some names in the hammer. George Alberts, Pacer says George Alberts. There's a couple showing their age in here with Charlie Miller and Ian Durrant. Wallace wanted midfielders like Charlie Miller, Ian Durrant, Derek Ferguson. And Prozo, Big Daniel Prozo's been shouted for somebody like him who came in and
Good
was
player,
a good. Just his knee injuries carried that wee knee knock, but Big Dado was good. They linked up with Nacho, didn't they? The two of them had even Benidorm saying Canidja coming in, somebody like him.
We put it out there when we get the phone lines opened and see what people were. No, we're not being ridiculous. We're not expecting you to build a whole team. We're saying, right, if you were trying to solve this riddle we've got, because we have got a conundrum, right? Who would you take for the pass to solve the conundrum? That fair, Robert?
Aye, that's a fair question, mate. Be good to hear the listeners' thoughts on that.
Aye, what we've seen. I've got one that might surprise you. You know, that I've thought about, you know, and made things happen, but worked really hard. You know, I don't know if everybody would get the one I'm thinking. You know, I'm like Southside, I'm very predictable, but we'll get the phone lines opened and we'll see if the listeners want to get involved. Because we know, as we say, we've got this puzzle. Southside, you all right with that?
Aye. Is it SD for you, is it?
Bizarrely, no, mate, but this guy played with him.
Aye. I'd like, if I'm honest, we needed somebody like when he was fit and playing at the top of his game, somebody like Ryan Jack in the middle of the park. Could just go in and take the ball in tight situations, knock it on and get to the players that could go and play. So a couple, somebody else has put in Terry Hurlock, but Terry Hurlock probably wouldn't last that long these days with the refs nowadays, the way they carry on.
Way before my time, Southside, way before my time. Right, let's get the phone lines opened, and I'm going to say, I'll come to it for what we're looking today. So let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
I wouldn't argue with Stephen Davis that he's pumped, mate. You know, fabulous football player, great man. But the guy played with him in a two, mate, and he worked hard, and we didn't have him that long. But for making things happen, scoring goals, and playing well in midfield and showing guile, what about Pedro Mendes, mate?
Aye, Pedro, aye.
You know, worked really hard. He wasn't raised that long, but wow, boy, could that guy play football, eh?
Aye, he was talented. Even somebody like Lovencrantz. I know. No. For the wide areas that could come in, and also he went in and played through the middle and obviously managed to contribute there as well.
I'm not judging these two centre forwards this new, mate, and I'll tell you why. I don't know how good a finisher Nadiri is yet. You know, because he's no had chance after chance after chance. You know, we think back when Dessers was at his peak, he used to leave us scratching his feet, Robert. You know, we couldn't make up our mind if Dessers was a good finisher or a bad finisher. He would miss the simple ones and then score some blind goals. You know.
You can only judge a player when you see the mocks, of course. And one thing that Nadiri's probably had a lack of is actually goal scoring opportunities. I think you can see the setup when he's playing with Chimiti that he's the guy that does the running off the park, off the ball, trying to work hard, trying to link up the play. And Chimiti seems to be the more kind of focal point up front, that kind of presence and around the box. I know he's got a goal, he's been in certain areas, but he's not really had as many chances as Chimiti's had. Whether that's through just different thoughts or Danny Rule's ideas or style, Nadiri may be more versatile, more kind of can move a lot quicker, cover the grass quicker than Chimiti. We've not really seen him kind of have a real goal scoring opportunity as yet, other than his goals he's got. So it will be interesting to see, and that's what we judged on, mate. We judged on his goals, as all strikers will, but as you say, players in the past like Dessers, you were scratching your head at times because for every 5 he missed, he would score goals, and sometimes they became very important goals, whether it be League, Europe, Cup. He could all score different variations of goals, and I know you said it, biggest enigma at the club, and I think that's a fair comment because he was a striker that frustrated you, but his goal still in return in the end when you look at it, over 50 goals in 2 seasons, mate. You can't disgruntle that in any record.
Aye, I think a lot's been made of Dessers' goals and Tierney's goals and assists. You know, and maybe the simple answer was that we maybe would bust the bank to try and keep Tierney. You know, if he wanted to sign for us, that's to take part. Because listen, at the moment he's better than we got, and him and that team improves us. He improves that team. We're sitting top of the league and arguably still in the cup. You know, bizarre as it is, Southside there.
Aye. It's amazing when you think back to certain things. I was going to just see this. You get sent something there the other day, and I had to rack my brain out a couple of hours trying to find it. I didn't get them all, but I missed one actually. But I get sent something that we have 11 players that have scored against that mob across the city, at Ibrox, Hampden, and also up there at the Chamber of Secrets. We've got 11 players who managed to score against them in the three stadiums since Graham Souness took over.
McCoist. Souness didn't have a great record at Hampden. Ian Durant.
Durant is there, aye.
McCoist, Laudrup.
Kenny Miller.
Kenny Miller was on it, aye.
Right, okay. Right, well,
if you can keep going.
Right, okay, so...
You've still done no bad, that's quite quick.
Right, okay,
well, we can leave it and we can carry on.
I'm thinking of goals up there.
Since Souness was here.
I'm thinking Hampden. That's what I'm thinking against them.
Right, probably harder to pick the odd one for there, because obviously you can pick them for Ibrox and going up there, but also when they were at Hampden, playing against them at Hampden, players that have scored in the three. Big Gately's on the list as well, aye.
Gately and Laudrup scored in the league, and then we get beat, was it 3-0? But we'd already won the league the day we signed Gascoigne.
So you've said Durant and Kenny Miller, and you've said Laudrup,
right,
Gately and McCoist. Right.
Right, how many's that?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You mentioned David Cooper, didn't you?
Oh, we never, but I'll take that.
Did you know I'll give you that one for free then? So that's Cooper, 7.
Since Cooper scored against, he had the penalty kick.
Aye, penalty at Hampden.
Right. But he didn't score at Parkhead since Souness came, mate.
See if it's right, but I'll see the bit of Souness. That's true, but I was thinking about that, but I know he did. He scored a header against them, but
I know the header, but that was
pre-Souness,
wasn't it?
Aye, I think it was. I think it would have been.
I'll check that out for you, mate. I'll check that out for
No,
you.
you can check it out. He's on the list. That was the one that I never got, actually, because I couldn't think of him scoring at that time.
Because you've got to remember, when Souness came in, Cook was only there. He scored the penalty kick, and then he didn't play that many games.
I'm sure this was when Souness came in. Anyway, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4, maybe 5. I can't remember if you've mentioned the other one. I'm not going to say it.
James Tavernier be one, mate.
James Tavernier's on the list, aye.
Yes, and Fox never got that one, huh?
Aye.
You notice that his Tav's numbers are put down, so is Fox's, if you know what I mean. Aye. Right, against them, right, so League Cup.
Jelavic.
Jelavic wasn't away that long, mate. Did they play at Hampden?
Played at Hampden, I'm sure.
He scored.
Vice played him through.
Scored.
Stephen Davis scored. Stephen Davis. He scored the winner. He scored at Hampden. Did he ever score at Parkhead? Don't think he did.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Barry Ferguson.
Barry's not on the list either.
Right. Did he never score at Parkhead? No.
I remember scoring at Hampden, the free kick.
Scoring at Ibrox and all. Again, the Rangers end. But there's a striker. I couldn't remember this one, but a day, I'm sure somebody gets sent off that day. We've got a striker. We've got two strikers. A midfielder, because I can't remember if you mentioned them.
Michael Moles?
No. One's no long left.
Would that be Dessers?
Yeah?
Dessers?
No. Before him. Just before him.
Just before Dessers.
Striker.
Wasn't Morelos, was it?
Sure was Alfredo. Yep.
But he didn't have a great record against them neither.
No.
He got that goal and the put one back. The Beale was the manager, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Aye.
And one's a winger. I'm sure Chamiti was the first player to score 4 against him in a season since he did. And he's on the list.
He scored 4 against them. Did he score the
their last player that scored 4 in a season against that mob, Chamiti, is just when he's done it now. So, but with a player who scored 4 against him in one season, and signed by Graham Souness. We've talked about him already. So we did.
So we talked about him already. Graham Souness signed him a striker, so it was Haitley.
He wasn't a striker.
He wasn't a striker. Oh, Gerard?
No. Winger.
Mark Walters. Laudrup. Walters signed Laudrup. Yep. All right.
Aye, got Walters. There's only a couple to get. We've got a couple to get. So you can come back.
We'll come back. Good question, mate. Good question. Got me thinking. It's been the Hampden games I'm thinking about, yeah.
Aye, they're the harder ones to try and think. You can always maybe your mind will cast you back to a goal against them at Ibrox or up there, but Hampden's the one that sort of maybe you've got to think of. Took me a good while to get Alfredo, to be honest.
I know fair, but because Big Albert scored in a semi-final, but it was at their place, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And he also scored, obviously, against them, and he scored at Ibrox, so I'm going to see he's an honorary one, right?
But Albert's is on the list.
Is he? There you go.
Yeah. So that only leaves you.
Did he score at Hampden against him?
I must have.
I think. Because I know he scored in the semi-final in '98. Yeah, when it was a tremendous goal. You remember the one that McCoy scored? We played them twice in a week, yeah? You know, Peter Lovenkrantz. That does. Oh, as he fell off his seat with shock, Robert, is he?
He's probably counting them up to see if...
Lovenkrantz, I was answering, I was in a bridge, man. Lovenkrantz actually isn't on it. There's one more, a strike. We signed him for England. He was played up front for us, done quite well. And I'll give you a clue. I think he played against us in the Battle of Britain.
Rod Wallace.
Correct, Amundo.
There you go, Robert.
There you go. Is that it? Clean sweep? Any more?
Clean sweep, unless there's maybe one or two other players that might be in there that nobody's sort of, he never sent me the thing. It was 11 he had on it, and I had to sort of go through it a couple of days ago. Passes time at work sometimes when you've got some downtime, you know.
It gets the heat thinking.
No bad question, Southside. No bad question.
Oh, could I just say our enforcer in the YouTube channel sent me Ray Wilkins. He'd like to see somebody like Ray Wilkins back in their mid.
Again, like Gaza, they don't fall off trees, do they?
Nah. So I say sometimes it's not always. Sometimes you need to add that wee player in. And someday, I know it's hard to judge you now and hard to sort of say 100%, but maybe somebody like Lyle Cameron might have been that type of player that might have come in, fun pockets of space further up the park, needed a wee run in the game and regular in the midfield. You take somebody out who you think maybe you paid the money for, like Asgard, who sort of fell out. Take somebody out the team that isn't.
How does Lyle Cameron get to play in that team at the moment, mate? I just don't see it.
I know people say they don't see it, but you need to sometimes find a place for them. If you're bringing players on like Bizrami, who I like him, I thought he was a decent. I thought he'd have been quite a good player for us, but he's no managed to hit the heights. And when he came on the other day, his final ball and stuff like that, I mean, he showed a bit of energy in that, but he's just not doing it. But sometimes players need regular runs in the team, you know.
Mhm.
So it's hard to say, where would you find space for him in the team, depending on the system that you're playing. I get all that. But like you say, sometimes it's not that name that you'd associate all the time, but it's a player that can come in and do a job and gain time and a run in the team, or finding him a position coming on off the bench to come on and try and influence the game. He might have done a job for us, but I don't think, just by looking at it, Danny Rowe actually fancied him at all in any way, shape or form as a player in his team. And that's up to him. He's the manager, and it's him that carries the can for the players that we put on the park. And I just think Lyle Cameron, in his eyes, isn't a player that he sees would be a player in his team.
I don't see it, mate. I really don't see it. Listen, I admire the boy Cameron. I think he's a good football player. I don't even think he's no setting the header like up at Aberdeen. He's done okay. He took off at half time in their cup time, mate. You know, he gets in the box, makes the runs. He's got technique. He's got energy. But I don't see where he plays, and I honestly don't see how we sign him. I really don't. And if people thought that we were going to have a midfield with Conor Barron and Lyle Cameron in it, we need to have looked at Robert.
I don't think there's any denying that the boys get some ability. As you've said there, Ox, what he offers you. The way I see it, just my intake on it is, you can clearly see that Danny Rule wanted a physical side. And obviously, no disrespect to Lyle Cameron, I don't think he fits the physical bill that Danny Rule's looking for in the player. So I don't think any decision was taken down to any lack of ability. I just think he found it difficult to try and put a guy of Lyle Cameron's stature and what he can offer into that squad. You see it, the signings that he's been done in January, they're all tall, physical players. Lyle Cameron, as much as he'll hustle and he'll harry, a bit like Conor Barron, he doesn't kind of have that physicality aspect about him. And I don't know if that's something that's probably played into his question, but I'm like yourself, Fox, going forward, how does he fit in? Does he just become a squad player? I don't think that's right for his career. I think he'll want to be playing first team football. He done very well with Dundee. He's obviously came to the club, but he said it himself, he knows he's not the star-studded signing, he's not the marquee name, but he knew what he could offer to the team. But obviously Danny Rule didn't fancy him for reasons that we don't know. We can only have our own take on it, but I don't know how he fits in going forward as well, mate. As you look at the current squad and any potential signings, for me, they're all going to be strong physical players. I don't think Lyle Cameron can do anything about, obviously, but you don't want him just being a squad player, because I don't think that helps him in his career.
No, listen, I don't think that. I hope the boy's got a good career. I just don't see him being the answer for us. So I said, I just checked that out quickly. I think Coop only scored one goal against him after Souness arrived, and that was at Hampden.
Aye, I better send him a text and tell me better get it sorted out.
Anybody we know?
No.
Well,
No.
Just we could have shamed him if it was AK. We could have ribbed him, no?
He likes to take part in the Rangers quizzes and that. He's got quite a good bit of knowledge in that, the boy, but he's missed out that one. He'll probably come back with an excuse and say something, but I remember the goal David Coop scored at Parkhead with a header, and it was by Packy Bonner. That's how long ago it was.
That's sort of back header, wasn't it?
He did it sort of towards the back post or back across Pat Bonner. I was there that day. That's when the Polish could control crowds, actually, back in the day, like 18,000 there was going to the Chamber of Secrets. Was never a problem. Nowadays they're saying they can't control 7,000. It's unbelievable, isn't it?
Well, maybe speak to Robert, maybe see it's the calibre of the officer or the size of the officer. Robert?
Using experience, no comment.
Southside, any opinion?
I would have said I've always seen one bigger than that. You know what I mean? They used to be big bullies, but it's just it's the way it is now. You see some of the size of the police officers these days, you know what I mean? They're not like they used to. They don't build them like they used to, we'll say that.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Anyway, good question. Right, I've been thinking about it. You know, I've been thinking about where we've gone wrong and how we went wrong and what's done it. And every time I keep thinking the question, I get pulled towards John Suter. Help me out, Robert. Am I losing the plot?
I think it's hard to pin it on one player, because it's a team game.
I get that.
It's obviously, as Southside said, you look at when John Suter came back into the squad, when Giga got dropped, we started leaking goals, making mistakes, and you can go through the games where we've dropped points and you could pick out moments that John Suter's not covered himself in glory. I mean, he didn't even cover himself in glory when we won a game against Hearts at Ibrox. So it's easy to pick out individuals for individual errors, but collectively, it's a team game. We know John Suter's flaws, we know what he can offer. I said it last night, he's not the kind of guy that I would build my defence around. I think going forward in his new contract, he becomes, for me, a squad player, rotation player, if you're going to go and make signings in the summer for central defence, which I think we need. We need to bring in more quality at the back just to be more reassured. Every player's got mistakes in him. I know that. You can be the best player in the world and still have mistakes, but it's the number of mistakes that you can go and look at in a short space of time with John Suter. So it is easy to point the finger, mate, in those isolated incidents, but for me it's across the park, defend from the front as well and build attack from the back. It's the old cliches.
Aye, I get it. I know, and I'm not blaming him for everything that's wrong with his team, but I just, every time I think about it, I think about Morrow in the last 10 minutes, and I think about Livingston. You know, am I nuts, Southside? Well, you know, I'm nuts, but that's another subject.
I don't know why I confirm that there by all the listeners, but aye, Suter, aye, listen, he's average. He's average. He's had some no bad games, flings his body in the line a few times, last ditch tackles. He's started decent games in Europe and all that. But I don't know what happened to him on Sunday. I know it's hard to come on and get yourself into a game, but you're watching a ball come down out there and watching it bounce, and then you're looking ropey. Then you're getting yourself into a problem trying to pass the ball back to your goalkeeper who's 70, run out his goal 20 yards to clear it before a player gets in front of him. He's looked a bit ball watches at times. He's been caught out. You'd expect him at the age he's at to be leading somebody like Fernandez and helping them along, and even Giga at that point, who's still young and come up for the Premier League at Wolves, try and help them settle in when they come into the team and play. Giga looked a really good player at the weekend there. I think for the time he's been in, he's looked a wee bit ropey at times, but maybe players need a regular run of games, and John Suter certainly had that over a period of time. He's a blue nose, his family sat in the Govan stand. You know, but for some reason he's prone to these mad moments in a jersey, and it looks a bit ropey at times. So there's a few, since we've talked about Lyle Cameron, there's a few in the YouTube feed saying that he's not really had a chance, and I'm trying to see who it was. Somebody put in that the gun platoon said that Cameron would score more goals probably in midfield than Raskin, Diamondi and Barron, which is probably, if you'd give him as amount of games as they've played.
That's maybe 4 a season, mate.
I think, see, maybe if you bring him on later on in games, you're maybe saying you don't see him starting, right? I get that. But when you look at certain games that were played and you're saying, well, you brought Asgard on, or you brought on Bajrami, or you brought on Diamandi late in games when he's not been starting, then could you not turn around and say, well, how could you not bring on Lyle Cameron?
If I'm honest, I just don't think he's quite good enough for us. But see, the last chap that read that stat, I don't disagree with that. If he plays a season, mate, he scores more goals than they've put together, because they're chipping in nothing. Barron's not scored a goal for us. He's had a lot of man of the match season, maybe plaudits. He contributes very, very little offensively, Robert. Raskin is get deeper. He had a spell last season when he was over the pitch and getting in the box, and obviously when he was scoring goals that were getting chopped off. Diamandi, very little, mate, in the forward area is actual contributing the goals and assists. Really, you're the piece. So I don't disagree with that stat, but I don't think he's the answer. I'm just giving my opinion. Robert?
I don't disagree with the stat either, mate, because he offers something different than they players do. He is quite a kind of box-to-box midfielder where he can make kind of last-minute runs into the edge of the box or into the box. It's what he done at Dundee, and was chipping in with goals for them quite a lot. Wasn't exactly hitting the heights of a regular goal scorer that we'd like, but he knew how to find the net, he knew the runs. Southside mentioned a wee bit like earlier on, Scotty Arfield. Lyle Cameron was kind of doing that with Dundee. I don't think he's the answer going forward, but I don't disagree with Southside as well that he could certainly be an option to bring on in certain games where you need a bit of energy in the middle to the front. Somebody that will burst a gut to get in behind or link up the play. Whether they can do that consistently and be a guy that you really depend on remains kind of to be seen, because as people have said on the YouTube feed, he's not really been given a chance to really get a run of games and do that at a consistent level. But when my thinking's Ox, and yourself and Southside can obviously comment here, how much as well does it lack of creativity as well, not just in the quality and the ability of players, does the formation play in as well? We've played the 4-2-3-1. We're still sitting with these kind of two midfielders. We're getting overrun. We've went to this 4-2-2. You've still got the two midfielders with your two kind of wide players, whether they're wingers or inside forwards, whatever you want to name it these days. Me personally, I think we need to go almost 4-4-2 diamond or 4-3-1-2, whatever way you want to word it, and have an extra body in the middle. But again, I get that comes down to having the personnel in the squad currently. And if they're all one dimension, it's not going to get somebody forward. But having said that, I think Raskin, when he's playing in a free, is a better player when he gets forward. He can put the ball in, he can get in decent areas. And he's managed to get goals this season. We've seen it at the end of last season, as you said. So I think you get more out of Nico Raskin when he's in a midfield 3 than you do in a midfield 2, because he does drop deeper. He likes to become more involved, and at times you wish he didn't, because it doesn't really help. It draws him out of position, leaves the other midfielder isolated in the middle of the park, outnumbered, there's no outball. Whereas if you've got an extra body in there, for me, I think you get more out of Nico Raskin.
I think it's horses for courses for me, mate. There's times for the two sitters and you're in a game where you want to do different things. There's a lot of games, particularly Ibrox, where I don't feel as if we need it. We have to go out and play at a tempo and a pace and make chances and put the ball in the net. And I like the two up front. Maybe it's no fashionable Southside, but I like the two up front.
I think with the way that we've got strikers at the moment, the three of them, it probably suits. Naderi, we don't know whether he could go up and play himself. Majowski did at times for Aberdeen, but I think he'd be more comfortable in a two, and Chamiti obviously needs the two. he doesn't look too comfortable up there himself playing. He looks like he needs a bit of help. So I think out the three strikers that we've got at the moment, I think a two suits the three of them. Definitely. I'll answer Teddy, who put in the chat that he was talking about that was the difference of the support back in the day at Ibrox and up there was obviously Rangers we had the running track and all that, but the gruns were bigger, mate. You know, we used to take 18,000 up there back in the day, and we had some cracking days up there like Flag Day and Lavy Roll Day and everything else that we had up there, and the Bears were always loud and proud behind the goal up there, and also we had a bit of their main stand, if you remember, back in the day. And somebody else said something. It was good times. I can't remember who said it. Somebody on YouTube feed said it.
It was the always good times.
No, it was no. But as in travelling, as one and everybody together, then it was good to go up there and obviously be taking a crowd like 18,000 and filling up behind that goal. John Brown scoring in the 3-1 game and jumping out of the boards and running to the Rangers support, if you remember. Ox, you know, you can still have these sort of memories. Lavy Roll Day up there, Flag Day up there, things that you can remember from back in the day. I think we're coming to the tune time, mate.
We are, mate. We are. Time's flown, isn't it? Time's flown. Get yourself a mute, unless you're going to give us a solo, all right? Southside, are you feeling up to it? Or are you going to keep it up for next week?
Nah, I'll wait till during the week and I'll maybe give it a chance.
All right, mate. Get yourself a mute, because we're going to have a tune.
It started down in Flesher's Hall. They didn't even have a bar. Those four lads, they gave us all the Rangers we all love. Ibrox home to you and me, our blue heaven, you will agree. 50,000 flocked to see the Rangers we all love. The Saturday comes and the Bears will stroll along, shout and cheer and sing our songs. We don't care win, lose or draw, we're the greatest of them all. In this game they call football, it's Rangers we all love. Come on! Rangers fans the whole world o'er, all the loyal to the core, and support forevermore the Rangers we all love. Oh. The Saturday comes and the Bears will stroll along, shout and cheer and sing our songs. We don't care win, lose or draw, we're the greatest of them all. In this game they call football, it's Rangers we all love. Rangers fans the whole world o'er, all the loyal to the core, and support forevermore the Rangers we all love. Rangers fans the whole world o'er, all the loyal to the core, and support forevermore the Rangers we all love.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
I like that number. I like it. Fox likes it. Robert?
Aye, it's a nice wee tune, that. Very catchy, wee bit modern, but very historic as well, mate. I like it.
Well, me and Southside are both modern men. Southside.
Aye, it was all right. it's a wee bit different. But aye, Fox is coming up with these tunes now, the man. Their resident DJ. Aye, a bit different. Still a wee bit of a traditionalist myself, prefer songs of culture, but listen, at the end of the day, it's aye, it was a catchy wee tune.
Aye. Aye, okay, where were we? I think Cooper scored most of his goals when I look back quickly, mate, against them at Hampden.
Aye, Cup finals and semi-finals, that will be, yeah.
Aye. And a wee flicky over people see the Rod Rivalry Cup, yeah.
Oh, I forgot, aye. That's right. Belter. Sandy Jardins was a cracker and all that day. Pity I never had that one.
Aye. Wonder, did he score it? Did he score it? Oh, it wouldn't be pre-Soonest. Just that day, I'm thinking John McDonald. Did he do it? No, it's pre-Soonest.
Pre-Soonest. John McDonald. I can't think him scoring up at the Chamber of Secrets, to be honest. One doesn't come into my head.
Oh, we didn't have a good record at that year.
No, not at that time, really, no.
Check it out, just for you.
But, aye, there's a few other shout-outs in the feed for other players there. There's a lot of them been contributing tonight in the
Well, come and give us a phone.
Aye, for anybody in the YouTube feed want to come in and talk to us tonight, pop on the show and talk to us.
Who's that middle piece of the jigsaw if you could go back in time and bring them forward? You know, a time machine, Robert.
Aye, if we had one of them, mate, life would be great, wouldn't it? Interesting to see what a lot of people do with a time machine.
Depends on its dope, mate.
Use it sensibly, I suppose, eh?
We could make a film, Southside, eh? Get a motor, make a film, eh?
Aye, no bother. Wallace is saying in the feed he remembers AD as well and all. So, aye, the days we used to go en masse up to that place and the old football specials and all that. If you were only going to the old football specials, the rackety trains, man. It was the old tracing paper, toilet paper as they called it, wasn't it? The see-through stuff and the wee orange lights they used to have up the top and holes in the seats on your trains, and remember them? Ops used to just fling out any old carriages for us to travel on.
Things are different. They only scored 4 goals against them, John McDonald, yeah. Just check that out, mate.
Is it only 4?
Aye, against them, aye. Just wanted to see what it was, mate. Aye, listen, there's a lot of things better and a lot of things worse, you know, in modern football. I get your point, mate, about, you know, everybody turns back. I don't get it, mate. And Albert's he blames Pep, didn't he? He blames Pep.
Aye. It sure is. No, he sort of turned the football and everybody tries to copy him and it's not always the way to go.
No.
I think it's changed. I think there's a lot of players, they probably do it for the academies with young boys and all in the academies and that. You play a system, you play this way, you know how to go and time they just go out and play with a freedom. I think they coach a lot of talent out young kids at a young age, you know. And you look at the way football's played now, and you look at some of the wingers and that, they became wing backs and they sort of took wingers out because they called them wing backs. They're the ones that got up and down the park, and even your traditional style centre forward that you look through over the years, certain sort of strikers.
I know it was pre-season, but John McDonald done it as well, mate.
Did he?
Mm-hmm. He scored a three each game up there. I think Dale scored that day.
Gordon Dale scored in the first couple of minutes, didn't he?
I think so. He also scored a 3-0 victory I think we came after Chesterfield in 1980, mate, at home, and obviously he scored that day in the Drybrook Cup final.
Mm-hmm. Aye.
But
That
the
before
question there,
Sooners.
yeah, that was
Aye.
before Sooners, yeah.
Aye.
All right, there you go.
Chesterfield. Oofed.
Part of our history, mate. Can't let it go. Yeah, we embrace our history. Yeah.
I'm just shoved in for Advaladze.
Avalanche. Did they score at Hampden against them?
No,
You want me? You're not asking me to check that out.
no,
are
I'm
you?
not asking you to check it out. No.
Turned into a secretary, right, Robert?
A wee change for you, mate. A wee change. Don't know if you can pull off this secretary look though.
Well, have a go, mate. Have a go. I can always have the glasses at the end of my nose. I can do that, but if that's all right.
That's a start, mate. That's a start. Don't know about the rest right enough.
Right, okay. You mentioned games there, you know.
Sorry, I'm just laughing. Somebody's actually named the toilet paper on the trains.
What was that?
Just J-Soft toilet paper.
If only we knew somebody who worked in the railway, eh? Oh dear.
Brilliant, man. Brilliant.
Best and worst away days. Things have changed, didn't they? Oh, going up to Aberdeen used to be an event and a trip and a good time. That's changed, didn't it?
Aberdeen, I know. We used to do weekends up there and all. We used to get the train up and used to get the bus back. We used to stay with a well-known Rangers fan up there that owned a string of hotels, and he's a cracking big guy. I'm not going to give out names and all that for pack drill, but we used to stay up there. Let's say it was eventful some nights up there. If we were playing on a Sunday, we go up on the Saturday. Stay in his hotel and that, and have to get the box cover up there. It all changed. It used to be all right. But early after the Ian Durant carry on, and once we had the beach end back then, let's be honest, we used to kick them out of the place up there, up and down the hill back in the day. Then we had the paddock on the other side. And then it all changed up in Aberdeen. Dundee. We used to always laugh. Sometimes we used to come off the trains and you'd see the old Polish Don and a kid knowing at the supporters. With the trainers, stupid trainers on and all that, and try to blend in with the support. It was always funny. But Aberdeen, just, well, the old days in the old roads, if you went by bus.
5 hours, mate. 5 hours.
It used to take 4 hours, going to say about 5 hours, maybe 6, depending if you were stopping off somewhere. Sometimes we used to go up and stop in somewhere and get a few swallows before we carried on, you know. But now they've obviously built the roads a bit, newer roads and that, straight up there, and that's a bit, it's a bit quicker now going up to Aberdeen, but we're still no welcome. I don't know why. It's all same for the Durant tackle with Neil Simpson, because, you know what I mean, it's not like it's a rivalry or anything with Aberdeen, like, you know, they seem to feel it. But
I've got a totally different theory on that.
have you?
I think that was part of it, but I think when you think about it, really, when Sooners came in, I know that mob had won the league the year before, but Aberdeen had been the dominant force in Scottish football, hadn't they? They'd been the most consistent team in the 80s, the mid 80s.
Aye. Aye.
So when Sooners came in and changed all, we blitzed them out the water, mate. And that was really the end of any of their success. Really, if you look back at it, mate. The odd cup. Yeah, and I think that was the start of it. They knew it was the end of it. Obviously, it was a factor there, the Durant thing. I don't see what they got upset about the Durant thing, do you? Really, a tone. I think it came for that. And the bizarre thing is about it, if you look at all the successful people at their club, mate, they're all Blue Roses. They're all Blue Roses.
Aye.
Yeah.
Aye. I think they were just pissed off. They used to get a kicking up there all the time. Every time the Bears went up at Pittodrie back in the day, coming down the hill and that. But aye, they're chipping their shoulder, and I think obviously once Fergie left, and they just everything sort of changed. I don't know why they think they've got a rivalry with us really, because they haven't. I don't really care about them. There's a few people in the feed saying they were doing at Chesterfield and all, showing their age. Some of them on that feed tonight, George and Teddy Bears, but at Chesterfield and all.
We've been joined by Wallace. Evening, Wallace.
Good evening, gentlemen.
How are we doing, mate?
Not too bad. A couple of weeks ago, I was really looking forward to the games against puddle drinkers for that. But as you were talking tonight, like especially Southside, about certain things in the past, there's a little game I remember way back when at Piggery. I don't know if it was 2-1 or 3-1. I've been arguing with an old friend of mine, Tiger, that I used to go to the games a lot before I moved away to join the army and stuff like that. But we beat them. It was 2-1 or 3-1. I'm sure it was Robert Miller, but I'm not sure.
Alex Miller, 1981, mate.
Right.
Alex Miller scored the one on the last minute. I'll get you the teams and I'll get you August 1981, mate.
Right, I think that's it. Yeah, I remember that. The place just went mental. It was brilliant, absolute brilliant. But the funniest thing was, our bus driver Eddie took the wrong turning and ended up doing the Gallagate, and our bus was a bloody mess. But it was funny, really. Idiots trying to climb into windows that were half broken. You know, that's how daft they are. But forget about that. But it was a great day anyway, because it was unbelievable. I remember it well. I forget the score. I thought it was 2-3-1.
2-1. A Willie Johnston
2-1 was
throw.
it?
A Willie Johnston throw and a
That's
Alec
right.
Miller shot. Yeah.
Right. That's it. When David Proberman tried to provoke the wee man, wasn't it?
Yep.
He was coming up and down in front of him, wasn't he, when he tried the ball at Alec
That's
Miller.
right, yeah. What a day that was. And I had to go over back on the boat, the ferry, over to Dunoon. And I tell you, oh man, that was a nightmare itself as well. That was funny. But they were good. They were good. Growing up, and that was brilliant watching the Rangers away back there. It was just. It's just different. I mean, I remember joining the army and I get into a lot of trouble because I used to go and watch Rangers a lot when I should have been on duty and stuff like that. But I don't regret it, to be honest, getting into trouble. But it is what it is. I just wanted to go and watch the Rangers. Obviously, I should never have joined the bloody army.
Miller got the second goal. Can you remember who got the first one? Bonus prize, Southside.
You know, my memory's murder with this man. Certain things spring in.
Robert Fritz.
No, he wasn't playing. Pritz didn't
No.
play. I don't think we signed him in 1980.
Was it?
I'll give you a clue. Do you want a clue?
No, I should remember this when I was at the game. See, just memories not the same as it used to be.
Right.
Big DJ.
No, I'll give you the team and see if you get it right. The team was McLeod, Jordan Miller, Forsyth, Jackson, Bett, Willie Johnson, Bobby Russell, Colin McCadden, Ian Redford, and John McDonald. The subs were Davy Cooper and Derek Johnston, who got the first goal.
John McDonald. No.
Jim Bett.
Jim Bett. Was it? Was that a 20? Was that just for the one outside the box?
I think so, mate.
Thank you very much, Ops. I've been waiting for years to get my mind around that one. Thank you.
Not a problem. We're always here to help, Robert, aren't we?
I was certainly are, mate. Every night's a school night on here. You learn something new, or you bring up a memory that it's been eaten away at you. And Ox will give you the answer.
As he normally does. Thank you very much.
Well, don't say that. Is he kind of getting the bigger of you? Come on.
No. Sometimes it's for memory, and I say that, and sometimes I look it up. That right, Southside?
Aye, that's true. That's true. He does. You after the YouTube feed, Wallace?
Yes.
All right. No, thanks for phoning in, mate. It's good to hear you and
Yeah,
put
it's not
a
very
wee
often.
voice to.
I must apologise. Not very often I get to listen to it this time of night because my heart medication normally knocks me out. But my grandkids kept me up earlier because I seen them, and so I'm a little bit alive at the moment.
Lucky you, Wallace. Lucky you.
Yeah.
Good to hear from you, mate.
Thank you. I've meant to do it more often, but it just I get a bit drowsy with meds and stuff like that. But I just love it. Rangers Radio to me is the ultimate in Rangers chit chat for sure.
Cheers, mate. We appreciate that. Really nice of you.
No worries.
Checks in the post, Wallace.
What do you think, Wallace? 9 cup finals, mate. We've still got to keep it alive and keep fighting, eh?
They've got to keep fighting. It's just a couple of little things that annoy me when they're playing this. They just need that little bit of fight. I get angry watching them. They play some decent stuff sometimes, and they just sit back and think, "Oh well, it'll come again in a minute." No, it's like get your bloody arse in gear. Sorry for swearing in a way, but it's get frustrated sometimes watching them because they've got it in them. We've seen it. We've seen it. I know the beginning of the season was horrendous, and I don't like to own up to this much, but I know that guy Martin, because he comes from down where I live now, and my nephews, when they first heard that idiot was going to be the manager, they said, "No, wait a minute." And I've took my nephews up to watch the Rangers a couple of times, and they said he is not a man. He's going to ruin your team. And we've struggled ever since, but thankfully, Danny Rule came in and he sorted things out. I just hope everybody hears some of the stupid things about getting rid of him. Nah, no chance. I could see where he's coming from in certain aspects. I think hopefully after the say, I know we're not going to do much. It'll be not so much a miracle, but he believes that he can still do something, and other people can mess up a little bit. And hopefully, we've seen it and we've been there before, so it can happen. But I believe after the summer in the World Cup, he can get players in, and I reckon we'll be a completely different team next season, without a doubt.
Oh, you're right, mate. I hope you're right. We're a better team. Wallace, cheers, mate. If you're popping off, you're welcome to stay, mate, because it's great to hear from you. We've also been joined by wee Al all the way from Canada. Hello, Al.
Thank you.
Evening, Al. Oh, he's on mute. He's put himself on.
Doing a bridge, man.
Aye, he's doing the training course, Southside, yeah.
Aye. It's because he's working and all. He's skiving. He's skiving to come on here during his working hours.
Imagine people being on their phone at work, Southside. Disgraceful, eh?
I know. It wouldn't happen in my workplace, I tell you.
Not allowed where I work. Oh, he's with us, Al. Evening, Al. Come on,
Sorry about that. I was just doing a. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can, Al. How you doing, mate?
How you doing, Alex? Hope you're doing well. Hi, Southside. Hi, Robert.
How you doing?
How you doing, Al?
Doing good.
Is your gaffer there, Al? You want to speak to us?
No, it was my wife calling me.
The gaffer.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm working. My wife's calling me. My daughter's she's 16. She's just out doing her driver's test. So I thought, you know what? Take my mind off it. I'll call you guys.
What's on your mind, mate? What's on your mind?
I just wanted to call, and first of all, I listened to part 2 of the show on Sunday, and I want to say, wow, congratulations, young Robert and AK. I thought you guys were cool, calm, collected. That must have been the hardest thing in the world to do. So, Oxford, you've got to say, those guys did a great job.
Yeah, here, I mentioned it Monday, mate. Anybody that thinks it's easy ought to try it, Robert.
Aye,
Oh,
thanks for
wait a
that, Al.
Wait a minute. Anybody that thinks it's easy wants to try it. Southside.
Nah. I've not got enough time. I'm at the game. I've not got enough time for that.
You've done it, haven't you? You've done it. Your track record.
I've done it. I done it during COVID. I think I had 2 defeats in a row, and they're hard to come on in there, I tell you.
Aye, you're right, Al. And the boys done very, very well. Yeah.
Yeah, they did absolutely well because obviously the scenes and the damage that happened to the stadium and the total insanity that was going on in the Broomland was absolutely, for me, shocking to see, disgusting to see. You know, I was a season ticket holder back in the early 2000s. I sat in the main stand front on the west side, close to the corner flag. So, you know, I was there. I've been there when Celtic came there and beat us 3-0 and things like that. Just never seen scenes like that before. And the absolutely unprofessionalism of the Celtic players, I hate to say the name actually, I shouldn't even mention them, was absolutely disgusting. And their manager's got a lot to blame as well. The hatred and the fuel that they're firing these players up with spilled over into the park. And I think these guys have got to blame. The Rangers fans, I think they reacted. You know, sometimes if there's alcohol involved, you do stupid things. But what was going on, I'm so angry about it. I'm actually right now I'm writing a 2-page letter. You've heard me do that before, and I'm sending it to Kavanagh and Danny Rowe, and you know, it's a strong letter, but it's obviously something has to be done about the absolutely assault and on our club from all levels. And it was great to hear the fan supporters letter today, because that was very professional and touched on exactly what's happening in Scottish football right now, and something needs to be done. So I hate to bring it up, but that's just the way I feel. What do you think?
No, listen, mate, I don't think you're alone. We know what happened. But we're not saying that we're not condoning what happened. But we understand the reaction, because we've been battered for pillar to post. What they put up in 2016. Yeah, what really happened? Nothing. And then they thought it was going to happen again. No more. Southside.
I'm going to watch how I phrase things, all right. Aye, listen, I think the board in time should come out with a statement and say things the way it should be said, condemn them for across the city, and also Police Scotland. When you're going to that game on Sunday, there was more police officers sitting in riot vans or the streets or in about the stadium. Hundreds of them sitting there. You look at the police, the bill it must have cost, and they all sit round about the stadium, outside the ground, doing hee-haw, to be honest, absolutely hee-haw, just sitting there as we're going up to the stadium. When you go across the city, when we go there, you're surrounded by two rows of police officers in front of you for the whole game. They don't move, and they're there all the time. As you'll know, when Mikey Moore scores, he's having to run by some of them to come into the support that day. The last time we were there, we won 3-1. And yet, for some reason, Police Scotland decided that they wouldn't bother putting officers along the front of the Broomland. Stewards aren't going to do much, and plus we've got a steward. 3 stewards were hospitalised. One's a woman who's still in the hospital at the moment during the carnage. They come on when they got their disallowed goal. That should have been warning enough. And the police could easily have been in, identified them on the camera and said, you were on the park there, you went back into the stadium, we know where you're sitting, we'll just take you out now. But they chose not to. And then if you look at the graffiti and everything that's round about the stadium and whereabouts it is, at the exits and all that, that's where normally stewards and police officers will stand. So what were they doing while they were decorating Ibrox and the Broomland Road Stone? What were they doing? If I pushed a police out the road on the way up to the stadium to walk by them, I'm sure they'd have chased me down the street to arrest me. But they can push police out the road and storm into your stadium, and then that end of that stadium is overcrowded. And yet Emma, as she's called, who came out and marked her own homework, as the fans advisory board said, and said she'd done a good job. She allowed the kick-off to happen when you had Emma on the concourse and the stairs and everything like that in that stadium at that end, and the Broomland had more in it than should have been in it. So they've got a lot to take the flak for. But again, they'll just come down hard.
Just as well they never had the boycott going on Southside.
Aye, and what you'll probably find is there'll be a lot of more Rangers fans will get lifted for this than when it comes down to it. You'll see as it develops the story, and then you've got the journalists making it, we're on to celebrate. You've got Martin out there, I'm getting selfies with 15-year-old Waynes and all that, and all that, and see that telling him apparently when he was on the park, he should have been telling him to get off the park, and no was standing there getting photos took. But the narrative's been already been put out there. They were on jubilantly celebrating, the same as what happened in Hampden with Hibs when they came on and Petrie stood and said, it was over at exuberance, not while they're having swinging punches at Lee Wallace and all the rest of it, and going the Rangers support that day and all. I mean, you've got Celtic supporters running about to the enclosure where you used to sit, we all right, and they're running into the Govan side of the stadium and taunting people. Well, it's not going to take much for somebody to get pissed off and come out for their seat and come onto the park. But they fail to tell you that and fail to show you that, probably. I don't know what they showed you on the telly because I was at the game. But I can imagine
what the root cause was, you know what the root
and
cause.
plus, of course you do. If they don't come on the park, nothing happens. Nothing happens. And when Premier Sports, who used to be Satanta for Dublin, are sitting there recording it and showing you out live, well, you know what their allegiance lies and all, and what they're going to show you and how they're going to paint it. So, I'm hoping Rangers Day come out. I believe it will be the last time that they'll be in Ibrox, for what I've been hearing. Whether it's carried out next season or no, I don't know, but I believe it will be the last time that they'll be in Ibrox Stadium for a game. And then you're pressured by the SFA telling you that they'll make sure they'll up it to 10,000 when Rangers said they had concerns about it in the first place, and then you're getting told that no, sort it out amongst yourselves or we'll sort it out for you. And then you've got Police Scotland saying now that going forward they don't know if they can handle 7,000 supporters again in a stadium. You know, it beggars belief. No, it absolutely beggars belief. If they can't handle that, they can handle marches throughout the city centre when it's independence rallies and anything else, LGBT and all the rest of it that they want to do and everything else. They can easily police them, but they can't police football supporters, really. So it'll be interesting, but hopefully Rangers will come out with a right good statement shortly, because there's no danger that we should be taking the dairy for this, mate.
No, the root cause. Al, and then go to Robert.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. I think, to be honest, I think this is a watershed moment in Scottish football. I think it's going to be very interesting what happens from here, and I think that's exactly what's going to happen. And I think you never I spend a lot of time in America. I'm not actually that far from the border, so I'm in the States quite a lot, and I know the Americans get a bad rap for all the other things, but when you think about the business and the savvy of the American people, I'm telling you, I know for a fact Kavanagh will have all sorts of people involved in that as lawyers. These guys are just way ahead of the curve. And I know that's why they're sitting back. They're waiting to, obviously things are happening behind the scene. I don't know if people really understand the gravitas of what's actually going on, but I definitely think I'm so glad that he's behind the helm. I'm so glad that we've got the finances behind us, because I think for everybody who's involved with Rangers, but if this doesn't motivate you to go and win and destroy teams on the park, I don't know whatever will get you motivated. But I think sometimes you never. This was a battle that they won, but this is a long-term thing. Their overreaction just comes from the fact they can't believe that we're competing back at this level. When we were sent down to the 4th tier, most people thought we were never going to be back. And with hindsight, obviously that was a misguided action the member clubs took when they sent us down there. So it's all coming back here to roost. So it just makes me more determined, and I think that's why most of us get upset, because we've been, like Ox, you said there, we've been bashed from pillar to post, from the SFA, from the referees, from our players actually, like losing it in the last, giving up and not getting it over the line basically. But it's going to be really interesting. I'm looking forward to see what they say, what they're going to say when it comes out.
Yeah, I think the SFA, I said it last night, and it's no, we're mad about the football and it's big news, Robert, but the SFA are culpable as this as well. They were warned. The club warned them, they were warned, and they gave in to a club like they usually do. And the root cause goes back to the 2 moments. Them getting in, them what they done, and then them coming on the park. That's the cause of it. Now, what happened after that? If these 2 things don't happen, none of it happens. None of it happens. And for that copper to try and mark their own homework and after these scenes is just embarrassing. Embarrassing. But let's, Robert, get your take on it, and then we'll see where it goes.
Aye, of course, it's one of these conversations that's going to last for a number of weeks, if not months. Ox, that there's obviously a lot of public figures out there that are condoning or not condoning the actions. There's a few public figures as well out there saying that they're disgusted by the fact there's been a total silence from both clubs, not releasing any statements yet. But listen, I think it's everybody, the SFA, the police, they've commented on it. So from our side of things, they've spoke first. Now we can react to what they're saying before we play our statement card and put out any kind of form of wording of how we seen it. And we'll obviously see it from the way we seen it. And of course, everybody's of the same opinion. It's vile, disgusting behaviour that stemmed, as you say, from that root cause of them going on the park. The problem you're going to have is not one single identity is going to come out and take responsibility. It'll be a blame game. Nobody's going to come out and say, sorry, that was your fault. We'll be better next time, we've learned from it. Nobody's going to do that. And we all know who that should be. But it's not going to happen. So, unfortunately, the only way I see it going is the same as Southside. There'll be no away fans. And that means probably no away fans for us at Parkhead as well. So, as much as I was once saying, aye, the atmosphere, you lost a bit of that when you didn't have the crowds. See, when it comes down to supporters and players' safety, that takes priority over anything. So, if you're losing away support because of this issue, then so be it. But as you say, mate, the SFA have got to hold their hands up as well, which they won't. I know that they won't do it, but they know themselves inside that they've messed up big time as well. There was warning signs. It was going to happen. I think if you ask Southside had been at the game, you probably walked to that ground and you felt something different in the air that day. The first time in 8 years that they've had a 7,500 allocation, there was probably something brewing. Who goes to a football game with markers and spray paint to graffiti? Who storms doors to get into a game when you're supposedly boycotting your home games as well? It's premeditated. It's been all organised. There's no way that was a spur of the moment. That was complete and utter disrespectful to not just your club, but everything else in general. But our club's the one that's going to hurt it.
Definitely.
Wallace, you want to come in, mate?
Yeah, I quite agree with Robert said there. Without a doubt, it was. I was sitting there watching the ground fill up and stuff like that, and even my granddaughter said to me, she said, "Why are they not sitting down, Pappy?" And she could you normally see on football players the walkways and the gangways and stuff like that, and I never really noticed until she said it to me, and I looked at it, and then I thought, she ain't wrong here. And I looked at it a few times when the pictures come up at their end. I said, there's something going on there. Then all of a sudden, there was things on my phone with people barging through the turnstiles and stuff like that. I thought, all sorts of things go through your mind because you've been in stadiums with the old terrace and you've been hurt and going forward, and we know ourselves what happens with things like that. Personally, I think if the police had their acting gear, they should have stopped the game until everybody that didn't have a proper ticket was out of the stadium. End of. Because it was obvious.
I get that, mate, but let's be honest, there has been times when maybe our fans can't get any gruns and have maybe skipped in. You know, maybe done
I've been there myself. Like Big Stevie, I've done all sorts to get into a football ground. But
that wasn't safe. That wasn't safe. And
no, definitely not.
Aye. So there's that.
That's different. What happened at the weekend was different.
People have got to make the call who run the games, the commander at the games, and they got it so wrong. And and I'm not saying that two wrongs make a right, Southside. What I'm saying is that was the root cause. Yeah.
Listen, when you go up there, you're made to stand at the Emirates. There's a check there. You've got to walk across. There's another check when you cross London Road to the start of walking up into their stadium. You've got to go up through the stewards and the barriers again. And then when you get up there to the turnstiles, you've got to go through more checks again. Same at Tynecastle, same at Easter Road and whatever. So how come that they can storm by police officers here we're talking about and get into your stadium? How's that possible when all these checks are done at other stadiums, and especially going up to theirs, where you're getting 3 checks before you're even getting to the turnstile, and they can easily turn you away. Now, I don't know if they had tickets or whether they were on QR codes or not. I don't know how they done it for them. But either way, they should never have been allowed to get near that stadium without tickets to storm the doors and get into Ibrox.
If it's QR codes, it's easy, isn't it? To get up to the stadium unless you click it somewhere, because you can show it. And then I can appears, but it doesn't matter. We've got up to the stadium, haven't we?
Aye, but if you're doing the checks further away for the ground as you're walking up to it, because there's cordons in place.
Aye, but if you don't activate your QR code, you just show it. I can have your QR code.
Sorry for interrupting. Can I say something quite please? What angers me is those GB mob, not Great Britain, but whatever they want to call themselves. If they're banned from their ground, how have they got tickets to get into Ibrox at away ground? That's the big question I would like to know, and someone needs to be done for this, because it's been like, there you go, have them.
Yeah, they play the gallery, mate. They play the gallery. We know what the root cause is, mate. We know how it started. We know the root cause. Yeah, but people will not admit it. And what we're saying here is, 2 wrongs don't make a right. So my point is, that's the problem with QR codes. You can get to the ground. Yeah.
Aye. I don't know. I know they build a walkway thing or something. I don't know. I don't know how they do it, but they shouldn't have been. That fire door shouldn't have been opened.
Wait a minute, mate. Wait a minute. Wallace, I think you're talking. You need to put your phone on mute, mate.
Sorry.
It's coming through.
Sorry, somebody
That's
was
all
just.
right.
My
Aye,
apologies.
carry on. Put your phone on mute. Carry on to the side.
Either or, whether you get a QR code or no, you still shouldn't be getting to that close to the stadium. There should have been checks done at least 2 different areas to make sure that they're getting into the stadium, the people that had either a QR code or a ticket, whatever way we done it for them. And it's the same when you go there. You've got to get to 2 or 3 checks to get to the turnstile. And when you get up there, you've got barriers to go through and all, but you're getting checked with police and stewards to walk up to the turnstile. And when you get to the turnstile up there, you've got a police officer standing at the turnstile beside the steward as you're attempting to get in the ground. And there's also police officers behind the turnstiles as you walk in the stadium. So why was that not done at Ibrox? I don't know. Only Police Scotland can answer that. And I'm not going down this road about cuts and all that, because when you're walking up to that stadium, as I said earlier, you see the amount of police officers standing about doing nothing in vans, sitting 10 and 12 handed in vans, 3, 4, 5 behind each other on Edmondson Drive, on the way up half the Paisley Road West, just sitting in vans doing nothing. Then that's what we're wasting the money on, taxpayers' money on, what Rangers are paying for them to sit in vans. They could see what was happening inside the stadium, and I don't know, Rangers, they maybe try to put the blame on the Rangers here or whatever, but at the end of the day, what happened outside the stadium and all, and people leaving the stadium, and people's buses parked next to their buses and stuff like that down in Govan Road and wherever else, isn't right, and that's down to the planning for the police where they tell you where to go and park, and that was wrong as well. So there's a lot of questions to be answered, and it's a lot of questions hopefully Rangers will be asking them in response to her statement.
Aye. We all when you come, mate. We all you kicked off. You're the root cause of the night.
I know. I felt like so bad for bringing it up, but I just had it on my mind. I just thought you're the best guys to talk to, because I was listening to your show the past couple of days, and you've not really touched on it. And I'm thinking, no, nobody wants to talk about this stuff, but it just so upsetting. And you know what's very sad about it? People's lives will be changed forever from what happened on Sunday. If you just think about that Aberdeen fan that flung that chair and hit that player, he went to jail for 18 months. He was 37, married, and had kids, I think. It's just, you just, and I think a 47-year-old guy got arrested. It's just, I'm just so shocked about the players. And it wasn't just some counterfeit tickets that people had. You can see they were just running the door. So you just knew there were hundreds of people in there that shouldn't have been in there. So you're right, that was before the game. So Southside is exactly right. They knew this was a powder keg waiting to kick off. But I'm actually really mad at their players for coming down. I don't know if you've seen the video when they're at the tunnel, and I think it's that Taneke and that Mexican and the Czech guy. They're just coming down and just shouting at Rangers fans just violently. Where is it coming from? For me, it's just so surprising. But it's just absolutely, upsetting to see. But a lot of people would have woke up on Monday morning with a lot of regrets.
Well, it depends if the door's been kicked in yet, mate. But I get it, mate. I get it. I get your point you're making. People they'll get them in a few weeks. They'll pick them up, and they might lose their job. The impact on their life could be dramatic, But
Exactly.
you understand it. And we've all done things. We've all done things in the heat of the moment, And we've paid a price for it. Robert?
You have, mate. You have, and of course, as you say, it's heat of the moment. It's emotions, but listen, there's a line where you cross it, and on Sunday we've seen a lot of people crossing that line. As I said earlier, supporters' safety, players' safety was in real jeopardy at one point. I mean, even when Southside said their fans were going to the enclosure, there's a lot of people in that area who are disabled, wheelchair users. I mean, how frightening must it have been for them? Because let's be fair, I don't mean to say this disrespectfully, there was no quick exit for them, so they were sitting there having to kind of endure that for a long period of time until it came to a kind of resolution the way it did. Could it have been handled better? Absolutely. Should it have been avoided? Absolutely. But there will be people having these sort of effects. How many people took their kids to that game for their first game, and that's the scenes they see. They don't want to go back.
Many,
So
mate.
there'll be a knock-on effect, mate.
No many, mate. There was a 43,000 that were there that are pretty much on the CCS, mate. Yeah, there'll be the people who go to all the games with their families that will take all the tickets, but there wouldn't be many people at that game with their family for the first time because of the way the ticket allocation goes. There might be some, but no many. Would that be fair, Southside?
Yeah, there would have been no randoms, like say, but there have been kids there and that have been gone with their mums and dads and stuff like that as well, that are season ticket holders. But listen, it could have been avoided, and as much as you want to lay the blame at the door, well, you lay the blame at the east end of the city. It's not the first time they've been on the park this season. They were on the park at Kilmarnock, running about the place, jumping in with their players, celebrating when they got a dodgy penalty in the last minute. That eventually VAR came out and said they shouldn't have had the penalty, but it got them 3 points against Kilmarnock, and they spilled out on there and all, and caused scenes. So it is what it is, and we'll see where it goes. But Rangers need to, and Kavanagh needs to come out and hit the SFA hard, I know, because they're the ones that put the pressure on us to give them the Broomloan, and we gave them the Broomloan, and you've seen the state after they left. So I rest my case on that one, and then mocking the dead and Everton the 66 and all the rest of it. Many times is that now they've came to their stadium and their supporters have been caught at it again. So, and they don't hear anybody in the press calling that out. They're no short and saying that. All these tabloids and everybody else that's having their say about it and try to play the blame game, they're not exactly sticking much blame onto that mob, are they?
No, because they've got other placement. And if people have their view and they're entitled to their view, if you don't understand where we are or where we have been for a long, long time now, we're in a war, and it's a different kind of war, and I don't want to be flippant at what's going on in the world at the moment, but we're in a political war, and people have to wake up, and we're caught up in it. Maybe just people want to go and watch their team and want their team to do well, but you're caught up in it. And pick your sides wisely, you know.
Exactly, 100%, Alex. That's exactly the point. I know I kind of kick around the bush sometimes, but that's exactly the point I'm trying to make. 100%, well said.
You know, right, come back to the football. Is our team as bad as we feel at the moment?
No.
No, my thoughts on the team, no, I just think there's a disconnect between the midfield and the strikers right now. I think Chumidi and Nadiri will show up to be good players. I think we're going to have to clear out the midfield in the summer, get some new guys in there. I was listening to you guys earlier, you're talking about players that make a difference. It's a Ferguson we need, a guy who can grip the ball, calm everybody down, be a little bit aggressive and make a pass and go forward with the ball. It's kind of like you need somebody to run with the ball and don't be scared. He was never scared to take the ball, right? So I think it's definitely somebody like that we need in the midfield. And I don't know if Lewis Ferguson's turned out to be that kind of player, but somebody like that would make a whole host of a difference. We can't really give a hard time on Danny Rowe. He's trying his best. If you look at the stats and the transfers, 25 players left the club this year. 25, right? And all this nonsense about spending 50 million, I don't know where people are getting these numbers from. It's not even true. I think we spent 25 million in the summer. We actually brought in 22 million. We spent 12 million in the winter, and we brought in 2 million. So I know there's loan fees and everything like that, but I think the net spend is probably only, if you look at transfer market, it's only like 13 million. So we brought in these 4 players, hoping those guys would make a difference. It's tough. Some of them are lacking confidence. Some of them are new to this. It's actually they've been put into this war, as we, air quotes that we're in right now. So I think he knows what he's doing. He's making big decisions by taking off Tab, putting Shooter on the bench. We need some Scottish guys in there, but we need people better than John Suter, that's for sure. And we just have to hope that he can make these right decisions and get that blend like you keep mentioning, and I think will make a difference. I think if it's not this year, definitely next year, 100%. I think we'll be going in the right way.
Wallace?
Yeah, definitely. I do apologise. I missed a little bit of that, but I do believe I know what you're saying about players coming in. I worked with a fella, a German guy that worked in engineering before I had to retire, and he's from Dresden, and he believes he'll do a good job. He's got a big job in the Summer World Cup commentary in some sort of German football channel, but he'll have, a friend Wilfred said, he will have people out there looking at players without a doubt for midfield, because he even said himself, you need that midfield sorting out big time. I think the big Chucky fella, he'll be a big holder of there. But I think he'll, like Raskin and Diamond, will be gone. That's a sort of what he thinks, and I quite think that will happen. So we definitely need that midfield strengthening with players that can hold the ball, then move forward all day long. Like I put on the chat earlier on about people like Durant, Charlie Miller, Derek Ferguson. They need people with a little bit of goal to get the ball. We've got players. The back's not too bad. I would like to do a little bit of difference at the back, but that midfield needs sorting out big time. Big time.
Okay. Cheers, Wallace. Last word for yourself, mate. Good to hear from you. Hope you enjoyed being on, mate.
I definitely did, and I'll try and get on, if you don't mind, coming to the future.
We'll never knock back a Wallace on here, mate.
Thank you very much. God bless you all.
Cheers, Wallace. Speak to you soon, brah.
Be good.
All the way from Canada. Working
Well,
hard.
thanks for taking the call.
Always,
So
mate, always, you know that, mate.
Thanks for taking the call and listening to me. Sorry if I was in a little bit and brought up some tough subjects there, but I think it was good to talk about it. Now I feel a lot better. So appreciate everything you guys doing, and hopefully we can get better. Be nice to hear from all my other international friends, Denver Bear, Big Al, or James from Tennessee. Give us a call and see the
Denver
thoughts.
Bear trying to get his teams sorted, mate. We can't get him on, whatever he's doing, his technology, mate. We've tried a million things.
I just want to hear him sing "Oh, we had Rangers over here." Good night, God bless. We are the people.
Cheers, mate. Robert.
Aye, good show tonight, mate. Good discussion. Always good to be on my south side and yourself, and good to hear when Wallace for phoning in. Building up towards Sunday, mate. Obviously a big game, but we know the big debate of the week's still going to be the aftermath of the games on Sunday, and we'll see who speaks next, I suppose.
Yeah. Your south side.
Aye, it's been a good wee night. It's flew in. Good to get down a wee bit of memory lane and all. Thank Wallace for phoning in, because he goes on the YouTube feed and we asked somebody to come on, and he's come on and obliged us tonight. So I'd like to thank him for coming on and having a chat with us all, and everybody in the YouTube feed that contributed tonight as well. There's a lot of them putting comments in and having a gab, so it was good to see their comments and see that they enjoy the show. And so as always, mate, it's always about the Rangers, isn't it? So I'll be onwards to Sunday through at St Mirren. I'll be travelling through. I think it's an early kick-off, 12 o'clock. And it's just about us getting the 3 points on Sunday and get back to winning ways in this league, and then see where we are after the weekend with the other teams that play around about us, and we'll see where we are. But we need to soldier on. We'll get 9 games, 9 cup finals, mate, and hopefully the Teddy Bears will do the business for the famous Glasgow Rangers, and we'll pick up that trophy at the end of the season because it's still there to be got it. And we'll see if Hearts can handle the pressure, and hopefully somebody can stick one in against them. They've got some hard fixtures coming up and all, so we've got to keep fighting, mate. We've got to keep battling all the way to the end, and see where it takes us. So thanks as always for having us on, mate. I appreciate it.
I see Aberdeen are waiting for an Blue Nose manager, eh?
Aye, I don't know if they're going to get him or not. I take it he might take the job. I would imagine he probably will. It'll be a step up, but so we might be going there on Sunday, and they'll not have a manager.
Yeah, listen, thanks to Wallace and Wee Al for joining us all the way from Canada. Thanks to Robert and your good self, side for doing the show. Thanks to Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals. Rangers Radio will be back tomorrow night between 8 and 10, talking about all things Rangers. Take it away, Old School Blue.